San Diego's East County has become the epicenter for large clean energy projects in the region, and that includes solar, wind, and lithium battery storage. But KPBS East County reporter Elaine Alfaro says residents have concerns about the impact on the environment and cultural sites.
Like much of East County, the community of Boulevard is home to rugged landscapes, rich cultural history, and diverse wildlife. The uninterrupted nature is part of why Yvonne and Abraham Mena moved to Boulevard in their retirement. Here's Yvonne Mena.
This is what really sold us to this property. We walked up and came through here, and I'll show you. Come on, and you'll see it's beautiful.
But Abraham Mena worries the natural space near their property could soon be erased by a proposed solar project.
It's going to affect really the life of the humans that live here and the animals and everything else that you can see that is alive. The bushes, the whole thing, the ecosystem is totally going to change.
The project is called Starlight Solar and could span nearly 600 acres. It would be just the latest in a long list of renewable energy projects that have transformed East County in the last 2 decades. These projects are helping state and local governments build toward their zero carbon emission goals in the coming years. These targets aim to reduce the harmful impacts of climate change caused by greenhouse gas emissions. But those efforts are running up against complex realities on the ground and pushback from residents and tribal leaders. John Bathke is an assistant professor of Native American Studies at San Diego City College. He characterized the trend in East County as green colonialism.
Again, this kind of second wave colonization, green colonization, in the name of renewable energy and being friendly to the environment, comes at the expense of, destroying in part the environment and destroying native cultural resources.
San Diego's region is home to 19 Native American tribes and 18 reservations, including the Manzanita Band of the Kumeyaay Nation. Manzanita chairwoman Angela Elliott Santos says there's a complicated history of colonialism in San Diego. Over a century ago, East County became a safe haven for her tribe.
Well, this has been our land for thousands of years. One of the things we used it for a couple hundred years ago was as a familiar place to go to, instead of being missionized, instead of being told what to do and taken over completely.
Elliott Santos supports the idea of clean renewable energy, but she worries about how the East County landscape around the reservation has changed.
It is very sad when you see that there are places where these projects could have gone through with much less impact.
But the land use consultant working on Starlight Solar argues this project is different from past East County projects.
It's because we work with the community. So that doesn't happen with some projects.
That's Jim Whalen. He emphasized that the property owner advancing the project has owned the land in Boulevard for decades. Whalen says the proposal will preserve over 400 acres of the natural land and all of the identified indigenous cultural sites in the project. But community members are wary, in part because of a separate, similarly sized solar project under construction in nearby Jacumba that also faced public scrutiny. Sita Stark works in Jacumba and lives in Boulevard. She remembers the day the project broke ground.
It felt like getting run over from the very beginning, and it just feels like there's no, I haven't consented to this.
The Jacumba community secured a $4 million benefit fund from the developer. Last fall, the Boulevard Community Planning Group approved the proposed Starlight Solar project with some strings attached. The group is asking for a $7 million community benefit fund, along with other commitments. Whalen said the Boulevard property owners have invested in community projects in years past. For Starlight, he says they will pay to refurbish the local resource center and are open to increased setbacks for the project. But they haven't agreed to a benefit fund.
We've already done a lot of the things that they asked for.
Still, some community members want to see stronger protections against environmental impacts, such as water contamination and fire hazards. In an email, a county spokesperson said, quote, "A utility-scale energy project's impacts undergo a lengthy public planning and environmental review process before any decision is made. The county's role is to evaluate whether a project is appropriate for a particular site and whether its impacts can be avoided, reduced, or mitigated to an acceptable level under state law." End quote. The spokesperson said it's possible the project may go to the county's planning commission in early May. Elaine Alfaro, KPBS News.